€170 million already spent, and now the president of Real Madrid is ready to reach into his pocket again. But hold on. This time it's not just any signing. It's a move that could shift the balance of European football entirely. A Premier League star who is simply not for sale, but the most powerful man at Real Madrid won't send an emissary, won't send a director, he will negotiate himself. Meanwhile, in another corner of Europe, a $148 million deal has just collapsed, and the player involved is the same one who years ago turned his back on Real Madrid. Now our club's name is back in circulation, and the saga promises drama. And in the midst of all this commotion, Madrid quietly says goodbye to a young talent who never took off. But pay attention, this exit might be the secret key to making room for yet another blockbuster signing. And to wrap it up, a short and blunt message from Xabi Alonso to the English clubs that wanted to take one of the most versatile midfielders in Europe: he's not leaving. If you think you already know everything, wait until you hear the details. Before we begin, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any Real Madrid bombshells. Here it's straight content, no fluff, with pure Madridista blood running through our veins. Real Madrid has opened the vault in a way we haven't seen in a long time. €167.5 million spent in this transfer window alone, a number we hadn't seen since that wild summer of 2019, when the club simply blew up the market with €361.3 million in reinforcements, bringing in half a new team at once. It's a heavy figure, worthy of a club that knows it must stay at the top of European football. And the most impressive thing is that, even after spending so much, the feeling is that the board and coach Xabi Alonso still aren't satisfied. Franco Mastantuono, the young Argentine talent, has already arrived to shake up the attack and become the new fan favorite. The defense has been completely redesigned, more solid, faster, ready to face any attack in the world. But for Xabi Alonso, there's still a missing piece in the puzzle, a midfielder who doesn't just play, but commands the pace of the game, someone who is the team's metronome, the brain capable of dictating the tempo, speeding up when needed and slowing things down when the moment calls for it. And that's where the name stirring the fans' imagination comes in: Rodri Hernandez, from Manchester City. He's not just any defensive midfielder. We're talking about a Champions League winner, a central figure in Pep Guardiola's system, a player of absolute trust and in several polls, voted the best in the world in his position. For Florentino Perez, there's no other name that justifies opening the vault at this stage of the market. It's him or no one. According to Cadena SER, this is not just a timid inquiry. Florentino has decided to take personal control of the operation. No delegating to intermediaries, no letting the football directors do the work. He will speak directly with City's management and with Rodri himself. And when the president of Real Madrid gets personally involved, everyone in the market knows it's because the matter is serious. On the other side, Guardiola and City are already moving to lock the player down. The idea is to offer a monster renewal, taking Rodri's contract through to 2029. That means if he stays until the end, the Spaniard will be 33 years old still playing for the English club. But Florentino believes there's always a way to open a door, and if that door opens, Real Madrid will step in with full force. The catch is that this would go against one of the club's most traditional principles. Real Madrid rarely offers long-term contracts to players who are already past 30. It's a policy that's been followed for decades, precisely to keep the squad young and competitive. But for Rodri, maybe this is the moment to break tradition. Because he wouldn't just be another reinforcement, he would be the brain organizing the team on the pitch, bringing even more balance to an already feared squad. The question for the fans is simple: should Real Madrid really break its own rules, spend big, and offer a long contract and huge salary to bring Rodri, or is it better to save that silver bullet for another time? Comment what you think, because this could be the last big move of our transfer window, and if it works out, it will be a signing for the history books. Alexander Isac is at war with Newcastle. Liverpool, now coached by Arne Slot, put £110 million, $148 million on the table, and Eddie Howe said no. The Swede has already made it clear he wants out, even training separately and refusing to travel with the team for their pre-season tour in Asia. But his history with Real Madrid goes way back. When he was 17 and playing for AIK Solna, Isac had everything set to come to the Bernabeu. At the last moment, he changed his mind and went to Borussia Dortmund instead. That decision caused internal friction. Coach Thomas Tuchel publicly said he didn't know who he was, which led CEO Hans-Joachim Watzke to apologize to the player. His start at Dortmund was poor, and only during his loan to Willem II in the Netherlands did Isac shine. In 2019, he signed with Real Sociedad for just £7.5 million, $10.1 million. Dortmund had a £26 million, $35 million buyback clause, but Isac refused to return. Sociedad paid £5 million, $6.7 million, to remove that clause. In 2022, he moved to Newcastle for £63 million, $84.7 million. Now, with Liverpool's offer rejected, could Real Madrid enter the game? After turning the club down in the past, would Isac accept coming now? And most importantly, would the fans accept him? Would you sign Isac today, even though he once turned down Real Madrid? Answer below. Few people talked about it, but Reinier Jesus is no longer a Real Madrid player. The Brazilian arrived from Flamengo in 2020 as a jewel, played for Castilla, but never took off. He had loan spells at Borussia Dortmund, Girona, Frosinone, and Granada, but without consistency. Now, at 23 years old, he has been sold to Atletico Mineiro. The fee was not disclosed, but his departure frees up space in the wage bill, and that could be useful if the club decides to make another move in the market. Real Madrid officially thanked him for his services and wished him luck in this new stage. And the truth is, at the Bernabeu, the entrance door is huge. But the exit door also exists for those who don't take their opportunities. Eduardo Camavinga had a season of highs and lows last year. At the start, he was one of the certain names in Carlo Ancelotti's rotations and lineups. But at the decisive moment, an injury at the end of the campaign stopped his run. While he fought to recover, Aurelien Tchouameni took the opportunity and increasingly cemented himself as the starter in the role of defensive midfielder. This scenario, which could make any player feel insecure, set off an alert for other clubs. According to the Spanish press, it didn't take long for some Premier League teams to make inquiries, and not small clubs, but English giants willing to open their wallets to sign the 22-year-old Frenchman. But the response from Xabi Alonso and the Real Madrid board was short, clear, and definitive. Camavinga is not leaving. It wasn't "let's talk," it wasn't "depends on the offer," it was simply a wall put up in Valdebebas against any approach. And it's not hard to understand the reason for this stance. Camavinga is one of the most versatile players in the squad. He can play as a classic defensive midfielder, protecting the defense and starting the build-up. He can play further forward, helping in creation, and when necessary he can even fill in as a left-back, a role he has performed competently in crucial moments of recent seasons. This versatility is gold for a coach like Xabi Alonso. The new manager knows that having a player capable of switching roles during a match, without the team losing balance, is a rare asset in today's football. Moreover, Camavinga has unique qualities: intensity, mobility, the ability to press high and win the ball back in dangerous areas. He's the kind of player who sets the tempo, who changes the flow of the game with a single burst or a precise tackle. And Xabi doesn't just want to keep Camavinga in the squad. According to internal information, he is already studying ways to modify the system to get even more out of the Frenchman. This could mean using him in hybrid roles, alternating between defensive protection and participation in offensive build-up, something that could make Real Madrid's midfield even more unpredictable and lethal. Madridistas. Florentino going all in for Rodri, Isac back on the radar after years, Reinier leaving to make room, and Camavinga locked down against any move. This transfer window promises excitement until the very last day. Subscribe to the channel, because the next bombshell could be even bigger.